So, if there are things that you want that are different than what you've got, you have to tune yourself differently. And the best way we know to tune yourself to something differently is to talk about what you want and why you want it. When you talk about what you want and how you'll get it and when it will come and where it will come from and who will bring it, it usually causes you to get into a more resistant place. But when you talk about what you want and why you want it, usually you can step back far enough to get into the essence of what you're reaching for. And with far less effort than it takes you to learn how to play Quicken on your computer, far less effort than any computer game or program, you can tune yourself, if you care about how you feel, into vibrational alignment with who you are. But these things you must understand first. You must first understand that the source within you, the source that is you, is pure positive energy. In other words, tuned in, tapped in, turned on, feeling good, liquid love. And when you tune yourself to something other than that, then you're out on the raw and ragged edge. Some call it the leading edge, others call it the bleeding edge. You're out there where you are vibrationally so far apart from who you really are. And this is the thing we so want you to hear. If you get this, we'll speak it clearly and slowly, and again until you have a very good opportunity to get it if you want to get it. We want you to understand why you feel what you feel. We want you to understand what your emotions mean to you. We want you to understand that you are the creator of your own reality, and that life has caused you to expand into new places that if you don't go, you don't feel good. In other words, when life causes you to ask for something that you're not currently living, the source within you follows that rocket of desire and literally becomes the vibrational equivalent of what you are asking for. And many of you who are looking for manifestation say, well, that's not really a big deal to us because we can't pay the rent with vibration. And we say, you could if you'd flow with it long enough that you'd let it manifest into something tangible. But what happens so often is, even though you're on the track because you're feeling hopeful, and even though you're on the track and things are lined up ready to be yielded to you, if you are insisting on the manifestation first before you believe it, then you keep looking and not finding it, and then in the not finding it, you find vibrational alignment with the absence of it, and you cannot find vibrational alignment with the absence of something and get the presence of it. Law of attraction does not allow it. You must find vibrational alignment with what you want. Now, many say easier said than done, and we don't disagree with that. We know that when you've been beating the drum, you learned it from your mother, you observe it in your environment, you talk about it with each other. Your own life experience gives you the evidence. It's such an interesting thing. You say, I believe this because it is. And we say, it is because you believe it. And you say, no. It was before I even knew about it, and when I gave my attention to it, it was already there, and of course I believed it. I've been collecting the facts and the evidence of life for a long time. I've been a truth seeker, and I see the evidence. I see true things all around me. And we say, yes, you do. But what you are seeing as you are looking at all of these true things, you are seeing the evidence of the way someone flowed energy. Because whatever you give your attention to long enough becomes a reality. And so, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would not be so interested in finding and quoting and stating and repeating the truth of things while we understand why you might want to, because there are so many things that are true that you don't want to live. And there are so many things that are true that you do want to live. And there are so many things that are true that you do not want to support and add power to. And there are so many things that are true that you do want to support and add power to. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, the criteria for that which we give our attention to would not be the truth of it. It would be the feeling of it. Because when you reach for the feeling of it, you will find which things you give your attention to that are absent of the source within you. And you will find which things you give your attention to that are full of the source within you. When you look at the face of a child and you feel that love flowing through you so much that you can barely keep yourself from sweeping the child up in your arms and absorbing them into your being, that means you are a vibrational match, a perfect vibrational match to the source within you. You are one and the same. There is no separation between you and you. You are up to speed with the fullness of who you are, and you are flooding the power of that source energy all over the environment in which you are focused. But if you are giving your attention to the truth of something and it causes you to double over in discomfort as you want to close your eyes from it, as you feel the fear that washes through you, or the sorrow or the sadness or the anger or the despair or the depression, as you feel that negative emotion within you as you give your attention to it, that is your indicator that you, while you have the free will to give your attention to whatever you choose, it is right that it is that way. You have chosen something so separate from that which the source within you looks at that you have effected a temporary separation between you and you. Not to worry though, because when you croak, that separation will cease. In other words, when you withdraw your attention from this time-space reality and you re-emerge into non-physical, who you really are will be the dominance of your vibration, and you will again regain the fullness of who you are. We come forth because you've asked us to, and we don't think you should have to wait until you croak to really be who you are. We think that you should be able to be source energy and send a part of that energy into this body, and that in this body, in this personality, you should be able to sift and sort and know what you don't want and know what you do want, and that you should build as you are building a vibrational escrow. You are expanding as that source energy being, expanding all day, every day. And the source, who remains non-physically focused, rides your rocket of desire and holds to that vibration, never again turning attention to where you've been that made you want it, but only giving undivided attention to the expanded part of you. And when you find some reason, some excuse, some feeling that causes you to then turn and give your undivided attention to what you're asking for rather than the need that has caused you to ask, to look in the direction of the solution rather than beating the drum of the problem, to look for the idea of the answer or the cure rather than beating the drum of the illness or the problem or the question. When you start feeling your way, when you feel your way by caring about how you feel, and you begin to tune to the source within you, what happens is you become that source energy being here in this physical body, and then and only then do you even begin to be what you intended to be when you decided to come forth to begin with. Not one of you said, I'll go forth, pinch myself off from source, bang around. Not one of you said that. Not one of you said, I'll suffer and it will be really hard. And then they'll make monuments about me. Not one of you said that. Not one of you. You did not say, I'll go forth and separate myself. You said, I'll go forth and life will cause me to expand. And when the expansion occurs, which is the idea, which is the desire, which is the basis of all the eternalness that we are. You know that contrast that you don't like? It's the stuff that puts the eternalness in eternity. That contrast that you often would like to do without, that's the stuff that causes the expansion. That's the stuff that makes us all continue to be. And the advantage that we have when you explore contrast is that we ride the rocket of expansion and we explore vibrationally all of the options. And we hold attention to that object of attention, and as law of attraction begins to respond to that which you have given birth to, all things that benefit it, that are part of it, begin to come to it. You are just the last holdout. Because often, while you want it, and while you gave birth to it, and while it belongs to you, and while you are the creator of it, you don't find vibrational alignment with it. And when you don't, you feel the negative emotion. And so it is fair and accurate to say that every negative emotion you feel, without exception, is because life has caused you to become something that your current attention is not letting you fully become. In other words, you're not keeping up with you. And then, when you don't keep up with you, it's so easy to say, well, it's because of what that one's doing. When I look at that one, I feel good. But when I look at that one, I feel bad. And if you would be more like that, then I would feel better. And so you are the reason that I don't feel good. And then you get off on this tangent. You're sort of crazy about it, where you try to control the world. You try to get other people to behave the way you think you need them to behave so that you can feel better. And while we acknowledge good-feeling people do make you feel good, it's not their job to be good so that you can feel good. It's your job to tune yourself to what causes you to feel good. And do you see how much simpler that would be? Because you cannot control what that one did. You can't control your children. You can't control what that one did or what that one did. Oh, you might be big enough or strong enough to make them behave, at least when they're with you. But as soon as you get that one wrestled to the ground, there's another and another and another and another. There's always someone being the way you don't want them to be. And so if your happiness is dependent upon the behavior of others, you will never find happiness. But when you discover that your happiness is dependent upon your alignment with your source, when you discover that your happiness is only dependent upon your tuning yourself to that which is happy, to that which is love, to that which is source, to that which is joy, when you remember that you are pure positive energy and you choose thoughts that let you be pure positive energy, now you're in control of your experience. So law of attraction is responding to you at all times. You know, law of attraction is responding to this energy swirling of you. You don't seem very excited about this energy swirling of you. In other words, we talk of vibrational escrow, and it's such a big thing to us because it is the leading edge of you, and it is the expansion of all that is. And so we stand in utter appreciation and amazement at how the contrast has caused you to create this wonderful, expanding universe. Perhaps the reason that you are not as excited about it as we are is because you have forgotten that all things that you see, including this magnificent earth upon which you live, was at one time thought that was thought upon by more thinkers until it became thought and then thought form and eventually manifestation. We saw it come into being, and we know how it is done, and we see the continual creation of it from the likes of you who are here participating. And so we don't take it lightly when life causes you to put something more over there in vibrational escrow, because we understand that future generations will benefit by that which the mass consciousness that shares your planet is now asking for, just as you are benefiting by that which previous generations have caused. But again, we don't think that you should have to wait for a future generation to explore the deliciousness of that. We think it is better that you use the guidance system that you were born with and tune yourself to the source that is really you and live the life that you came forth to live. The basis of your experience is freedom. You are so free you can choose bondage. And your objective, if we were standing in your physical shoes, is joy. And expansion must be the result. So we say that to you and you say, we hear you, Abraham. Growth, growth, growth. You say, yes, indeed. That happens, but it is not growth you are seeking. Growth is a given. It is joy you are seeking. Because without seeking joy, you cannot tune yourself to the vibration of who you've become. And if you don't do that, then you cannot have the conscious realization of your own expansion. Sometimes we see you, it's as if you take your boat down to the river's edge and you deliberately point it upstream and begin paddling very hard. And we say, why not go with the flow? And you say, oh, that seems very lazy. And we say, well, how's it going? You say, well, it's not easy, but this is what we do. It's what my mother did. It's what her mother did. It's what we do. And the people who have monuments and statues, they really paddled hard. And we say, we appreciate your effort, but nothing that you want is upstream. And the reason that we know that is because we know how the universe works. We know that the contrast causes you to ask, and as you're asking and their source becoming and law of attraction's response to that causes the stream to move this way. The stream is always downstream. You don't have to turn your boat around and paddle downstream. Many of you try that. You just have to let go of the oars. You just have to stop the struggle. Stop defending. Stop complaining. Stop telling it like it is. And start looking in the direction of what you are wanting. We are eager to visit with you about anything that is important to you.